Hey race fans, it's race day. Top 5 with me, Frank 5. Off weekend, a lot of adjustments, and then slipping and sliding, tire failures, penalties. There are no limits in Texas, especially for someone that is sick and tired of finishing second and finally breaks through. Number 1, Kyle Busch. Runner-up, no more. All the second place finishes that Kyle had earlier this year, out of the bag now. Finally, he gets a victory circle, capturing today's O'Reilly Auto Parts 500 at Texas Motor Speedway, and officially locks the guy that finished second in the championship last year back into the playoffs to hopefully defend his 2015 title. And Kyle Busch has been trying so hard this season to win races. He's been competitive. I mean, Atlanta really wasn't a big performance by the whole team, but because it's old surface and, Kevin Harvick dominated the whole thing, Kyle didn't really show anything. The last few races, though, he's finished second, third, second. Today, it's all been erased. First place, and he's very satisfied about that, especially, a guy like Kyle Busch, you don't like to finish second all the time. And he finally did it today, capturing it over Kevin Harvick, Jamie McMurray, Erik Jones, and Ryan Blaney. Number 2, Kevin Harvick had pretty much the best car, one of the best cars other than Kyle Busch all day. But unfortunately, as we got closer to, the end of stage 2, Harvick had a couple of problems. He had been penalized for, loose. He had a loose wheel. Then he got to come back into pit road because he had another loose wheel. Had a penalty later in the race for an uncontrolled tire. Too many men over the wall, and he went through it all today. If he hadn't have all these issues, I think Kevin Harvick would have got his 4th win of the season. But he tried his best, and that was quite an effort he put up. I mean, he had the best car. He set the fastest lap. He led the second most laps. You got to give Kevin Harvick credit for coming back after everything he had been through today. Number 3, Erik Jones, in his first season with Joe Gibbs Racing, finally broke through for his first top 5. And this is something that this kid has been looking for since day 1 of the season. He wanted to have solid runs and prove that he can win races and be a championship contender because he's one of our future young stars of the sport. And today, he did a great job. I mean, he was out front leading some laps. I think he ran about 80 laps. I mean, he ran really well. To give him credit, and his crew chief, Chris Gale, who stepped in for Jason Radcliffe, who went back to the Xfinity Series to help Christopher Bell. So far, it seems like Erik Jones and Chris Gale had to get some things adjusted as far as, adjustments and race cars, and it looks like they got it all figured out for the moment. So, thumbs up for Erik Jones in his first top 5 of the season. Number 4, Bubba Wallace Jr. gets his second top 10 of the season since the Daytona 500. Since then, it's been a struggle for the 43 team. I mean, they said they've had some good race cars. They just haven't performed well as far as pit stops, adjustments, and just bad luck coming their way. I mean, don't get me wrong. Bubba Wallace, I thought last week, a couple weekends ago to Martinsville, should have had a good run because you've seen what he does in the truck series there. Pretty much every time he goes there, he's either second or he's first. So, it was tough to see Bubba Wallace, run, not get the result he hoped for last weekend. But today, he actually had some competitive speed. I mean, Texas is a fast track, and it suits some of the slower teams to have some speed, and especially with this repaved surface, anything's possible, including restarts. So, Bubba was able to pass a couple of great guys, and he was able to come home with an 8th place finish, which is a little momentum and something that the 43 team needed since their 2nd place finish at Daytona. And number 5, chaos. That was probably the term of the day, other than runner-up no more for Kyle Busch. We had a lot of action today, especially considering yesterday the track was misty and we had a lot of, weather problems. Today it started off cloudy, then it was partly cloudy, then the sun came out. I mean, we had it all today. And, a lot of tire failures today as well. I mean, we had it with Martin Truex Jr., who's Mr. Mile and a Half. We had Kyle Larson. They both hit the wall really hard in their day. We had, penalties. We had a huge wreck in turn 3 that took out Jimmy Johnson, who still can't catch a break, Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, and for the first time this year, Aric Almirola failed to finish the race because he was part of that wreck. And then Ryan Newman had a tire failure late in the race. So we had it all today as far as chaos. I hope some of the fans got their money's worth for people watching at home and people watching at the track. I kind of enjoyed the chaos because we need to have that at the racetrack more often. Finally, Chase Elliott. Good finish today. 11th's not really what I hoped for. I mean, we were better than that. We were high as 2nd today. We had a chance for top 5, top 10, and we came in pitted, and then when Ryan Newman blew his tire, we came down pit road with the lead lap car, so we were a lap down, which was, I'm sorry, I love Al Gufson, but that was so stupid. If we had stayed out and take the wave around, we would have finished top 10. But because of the points we earned today, we're now officially in the top 16 in the playoffs, so we're officially in. So hopefully we'll be there for the rest of the season. So coming up next weekend, Thunder Valley. It's Bristol, baby. Will Kyle Busch go 2 for 2? Will Jimmy Johnson repeat his win from a year ago and finally get his luck turned around? Or will a new face break through? Somebody like Blaney, Elliott, Jones, or Suarez? Gotta find out next weekend. So don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Congrats to Rowdy Busch. Got it featuring finally. And I'll see y'all next week.